Greetings YouTube, this is going to be a quick review because I discovered that if I talk about this game too much I'll end up spoiling the whole goddamn thing, which kind of defeats the purpose of it. So, here we go. I found this a very curious game, and I mean that in a good way. The Outer Wilds is a puzzle game. Although it's admittedly difficult to tell at first glance, starting out it feels like an adventure game, which it kind of is as well. You can talk to people. There are 2 training areas, one for ship control, one for zero-G. You don't have to do either of them if you don't want. You get the launch codes to the ship and can then blast off into the great unknown. The ship, and indeed the solar system itself, gives off an impression of simplicity. The ship has a pilot seat, a spacesuit, and a ship's log for keeping track of what you've uncovered and where you uncovered it. It even lets you track the exact GPS position of certain important places, just in case you forgot where you parked the planet in question. And believe me, there is actually more than one object in the solar system you can actually misplace. Now the game's controls are very straightforward, but you might want to practice flying and landing the ship. It's very easy to go blasting straight past your intended destination because you've overcooked the engine. Or blasting straight into your destination because you forgot to aim past it. Now my first trip off-world was the moon, because why not? Also it's nearest. And then did the moon just get hit by an asteroid or something? And then I wake up back at the campsite, where I started. And it's at this point I suddenly remember the game description mentioning a time loop. I still don't know what the hell just happened there though. And then it happened again, and this time I saw it happen properly. I won't say why it happens, because spoilers, but every 22 minutes the sun goes supernova. And you get warped right back to the beginning. Except you get to keep the launch codes so you can launch straight away. Oh, and any information you've uncovered on your journey, you get to keep that as well. There's a number of planets, moons and other things within the system, spoilers. Some planets are stable, others not so much. I gotta hand it to the developers for their imagination and design work on this. No 2 places are alike. Expect to be surprised. Like, constantly surprised. The animation and graphics are, like the rest of the game, simplistic, but it didn't stop them from creating some spectacular views. Other games have truly massive worlds, but often forget to put meaningful content in them. This is much smaller, but somehow manages to feel far more epic in scope. As you track down and discover the secrets squirreled away in the darkest of corners, you think you've found everything. You're probably wrong. You have a translator, which does exactly what you think it does, A signal scanner, does exactly what it says on the side of the box, and the probe launcher, which is like a grenade launcher that fires a camera. It takes pictures. All of these things will be vital on your journey. They'll be key to solving all the various puzzles you come across. Urgh, don't you just hate it when that happens? Things start getting interesting and then the sun explodes. There are other hazards though, beyond lack of oxygen and the intense fireball of death. And there's a stunning number of ways to die. It can be quite hilarious sometimes. Take care of your ship, because it can take damage and even break apart, leaving you stranded on whatever planet you happen to be on, or in the depths of space. The time loop isn't just for irritating you though. As time passes, things in the system change. Spoilers! But new paths open as old ones close off. And if you miss your chance, going back to the main menu and reloading restarts the loop immediately. Which is incidentally very handy if you've just wrecked your ship. As to the puzzles, for example, there's a workshop on Giant's Flood, but the door's broken. And while it didn't take me long to figure out a way in, 5 seconds to be precise, it was still an ingenious puzzle. Similarly on Brittle Hollow, I really struggled to climb that bloody tower. I must have spent an hour, on and off, until eventually, bing, the solution came to me in another brilliant light bulb moment. You've really got to think outside the box sometimes. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. The Quantum Moon is a bugger to land on. Well, okay, it's not, but it seems like it is at first. And then, when you do manage to land on it, you realise landing on it was the easy bit. Damn, it's clever. And the Dark Bramble, it's like Doctor Who's TARDIS, if it was a hostile houseplant filled with oversized piranhas. I swear, I'm not making any of this shit up, all of this is in the game. Initially it feels like all these locations and puzzles are separate, but you'll learn they are all interconnected. Clues can link between multiple planets and lead you on a merry treasure hunt around half the system. And there is a story as to why all of this is happening, a very clever story, especially since at the start none of this makes any sense at all. Now, there is a DLC available for the game, Echoes of the Eye. It unlocks a new location. Looks like a huge wheel, you can't miss it. Actually, you can miss it, since it's not marked on the map. Spoilers! It's also creepy. Creepy enough the developers felt the need to include a separate content warning about it. This is in the same game as giant space piranhas, because those things were already creepy. The Outer Wilds is a brilliant little puzzle game. As always with these things, it'll lose its mystique on subsequent playthroughs, but damn, it's a hell of an experience the first time. The visuals, the puzzles, the creativity especially. It's faultless. And I don't often say that about a video game.